My name is Nadir Shafaq, originally from Afghanistan and settled in Aotearoa, New Zealand 3 years ago. I am here co-representing the Refugee Alliance, a network and alliance of refugee-focused and led organizations. Around 40 organizations, we are working together for the well-being, inclusion, and integration of former refugee communities in Aotearoa, New Zealand. And I am co-representing the Refugee Alliance together with my Birgit. I am my colleague Birgit. I am passing over to her to introduce herself.
Kia ora tātou katoa, ko Birgit Grafriend Watungwa Tukuingua. My name is Birgit Grafriend Watungwa. I'm the Chief Executive of Host International Aotearoa, based in Te Whanganui-a-Tara, Wellington. And I am co-presenting with Nadir on behalf of the Refugee Alliance. Our coalition works alongside Māori, Tangata Whenua, and other communities, including Tauiwi and Tangata Tiriti, to build a fair, just, and inclusive society.
Thank you, Birgit. We are here to oppose the principle of Treaty of Waitangi Bill because we believe the Refugee Alliance believes that this bill threatens the principles of inclusion, partnership, equity, and social cohesion. We believe that the treaty is an agreement between two sovereign entities, which is the Maori, Iwis, and nations and Crown. And any party cannot change the agreement unilaterally. And it should be in partnership and consultation with each other if there is need for clarification of anything that. So any changing of agreements, which is the foundation of a nation, without considering the wishes, aspirations, and the needs of the other parties could erode the social cohesions and lead to instability of a society. I am coming from Afghanistan. Let me share my personal experience with you. We had a constitution which was the best in the region. Our constitution recognized the diversity of Afghanistan, recognized the individual liberties and civil rights, and also the separation of powers. But our politicians, they could not uphold the provisions and articles of that constitution. And gradually, after years, they lost the trust of the people and eroded the trust of the people to the government. When the time came, people did not support that government, and that government collapsed. The people of Afghanistan suffered, the politicians suffered and humiliated. Now most of those politicians are living in exiles in many other countries, receiving social security benefits, including myself as a refugee. I am living here, and my family, that we suffered a lot, we lost a lot. So we understand from the background that we are coming, the social stability and social cohesion, how much important is for a nation and for a country. We cannot take that for granted unless we are protecting and respecting the rights of marginalized communities and the agreements and the documents that a nation has. And the second thing, from the refugee perspective, I would like to add about the importance of the Treaty of Waitangi is that this is a welcoming document for us. We came here for a hope of peaceful, calm, and prosperous society for us and for our children and for our next generations. So the foundation for belonging and inclusion for us as refugees and migrants is this document, which is called Treaty of Waitangi. Any amendment to that, any changes to that, without the partnership and without the mutual consent of signing entities, is an erosion to the trust of communities, especially refugee communities, that we suffered a loss, and those memories will come back to us, that maybe instability, maybe like division and hatred is following us even in our new home. So I would like to pass over the next of our arguments to Birgit, she will continue with the other points.
Kia ora, thank you, Nadia. The Refugee Alliance strongly believes that instead of debating how to redefine Te Tiriti, we should be focusing on other urgent issues, such as the cost of living crisis, housing shortage, healthcare and education inequalities, and better refugee and migrant policies. The bill wastes a lot of resources while failing to address real problems. Social cohesion in Aotearoa relies on partnership, fairness, and inclusion. This bill threatens all three. From our perspective, the global lesson also is, as Nadia shared with his personal experience, that many former refugee communities have seen firsthand what happens when foundational agreements are ignored, when governments disregard agreements. It leads to instability, exclusion, and discrimination. Te Tiriti is a successful local model that provides stability and inclusion. We should be strengthening it, not weakening it. Refugee communities deeply value the rule of law. It provides safety and security. The bill appears to prioritize political rights while neglecting social and economic rights, which are critical for marginalized communities. Stability cannot be taken for granted. Undermining Te Tiriti risks eroding the foundation that makes Aotearoa a fair society. Our call to action is that the Refugee Alliance stands firmly in support of Te Tiriti o Waitangi as the foundation of stability, inclusion, and justice in Aotearoa. Weakening or redefining it doesn't just impact Māori, it harms all communities who rely on the principles of fairness and partnerships, as well as protection. Nadia, I'll hand back to you.
Thank you very much. Maybe we are closing out our submissions, and if there is any questions from the respectable members of the Parliament Committee, we are happy to answer.
Thank you for that, Birgit and Nadia. It is a really useful submission, and thank you also for your written submission, which we have in front of us. Members, we do have some time for questions. If that's... I'm looking at Carlos, looks like he may have a question. No? No. All right. Look, thank you for your submission. Really useful, and thanks again. Kia ora and ka kite.
Kia ora. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. Ka kite.
It's a real pleasure.